I can't see anything. I was at dinner last night and I literally had to go back out to the car. Concord. Spend some time with this one.
Or check it over thoroughly.
All right, Concord Township inside millage, 1.40 mils to the general fund and 1.60 mils to the road and bridge fund for a total inside millage of 3.00 mils. For outside millage, 2.70 mils to the fire levy fund, 2.00 mils to the road levy fund, 4.00 mils to the safety services levy fund, and 0.57 mils to the bond levy fund for a total outside millage of 9.27 mils. How was that fire station coming along?
Good. So it's dropped, because it was 0.6.
Oh yeah, I think it was 5.7 last year too. It's gone down.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Last and certainly not least, Kirtland Library. There is no inside millage for Kirtland Library. And for outside millage, there is 1.00 mils to the general fund for an total outside millage of 1.00 mils. Amy says correct. Okay, my treasurers or those here representing entities have any questions or concerns that they want to bring to the board? While they are finishing up, I would like to just address one matter, if it would please the board. I know that there has been some discussion both internally and externally with individuals about the role of this body. And I can tell you from my research that the methodology and role of the budget commissions varies wildly across the state of Ohio and all 88 counties. Some taking a more, what I would call active role in local budgetary processes, and some not. This board has historically not taken that position. I know there has been question regarding whether or not that should continue to be the case. The fact is, I do agree that this body should be more than just a rubber stamp on millage. I will point out, though, that I am in disagreement with the county prosecutor on that point, who has issued, I think, at least 2 memos to this body in my 3 years here regarding his position on the legal standing of this board and its authority. Now, I may disagree with the county prosecutor. However, he is the county prosecutor and our chief legal counsel. And so his opinion on the authority and duties of this board is going to be a controlling one. If there is any suggestion that myself or any other member of the board, and I certainly let Mr. Zern speak for himself, that we would take action outside of the legal advice provided to us by our legal counsel, I'm not prepared to do. I am not going to expose myself to personal liability in any way by taking an action that my legal counsel and our county prosecutor has told me would be inappropriate. So unless the county prosecutor changes his opinion, I will continue to operate this board as it has been for the last 30, 40 years. So that's really all I want to say about that at this time. I will say, I think there is some disagreement. I would say that I think that this body has very limited, in my interpretation of ORC, authority to when it comes to the individual entities versus, say, county agencies or county oversight. I do not believe that we would have any authority to modify, say, the city of Wickwood's budget. They have their own mayor, council, fiscal officers that have been, duly elected, and those levies approved by their voters. I don't believe the three people sitting here would have the ability to override that. But that's all part of the legal debate on what the authority and scope of this board is. So I don't know if you want to comment on that.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment that I do agree that we need to follow the direction of the prosecutor's office with what this board is able to do. But we are all well aware of the budgets. We are all well aware of the carryovers, which is the big concern that we're hearing from the public. That is something that we are aware of and we are looking into, and we have received many emails from the community about different opinions on what this board can do, but the prosecutor has given us direction. The prosecutor's office has given us specific direction that I am going to follow at this point.
I would just like to point out there's one very seminal case right on point, and the argument seems to come up with the differences between 5705.31, which requires the County Budget Commission to approve without modifications levies in excess of the 10 mil limitation that have been properly passed by the voters. And I'm reading it right out of the Supreme Court case. Versus 5704.341, which does appear to give the Budget Commission the ability to reduce. However, the Supreme Court went on to state, and I'm quoting here, "We conclude that voter approval of a levy properly placed upon the ballot pursuant to RC Chapter 5705 constitutes an approved budget as a matter of law, thus satisfying the provision of 5705.341, which requires budget approval before levying of any rate of taxation." That sentence right there, the Supreme Court is pointing out, once the voters approve and outside of the 10 mil limitation levy, according to the Fairfield case, we cannot reduce it unless the Supreme Court would reverse course, which they haven't as of yet. So the one case that considered both statutes found .31 to be the specific statute in control.
And I know that we can argue case law, and I'm not an attorney. I'm the first to acknowledge that, and I would not pretend to be or practice law in any way. I have said since my time here that this would be much easier if the legislature would do its job and properly clarify the role and clearly define the duties and role and powers of the Budget Commission. It does seem to me a very odd thing that a Budget Commission has been created in ORC and that has no particular purpose other than to read aloud levy millages and inside millage rates. It does seem very odd to me that that's the intention of the legislature. It also strikes me as odd that in some counties they are much more aggressive. I don't believe that the legislature would intend to give the Budget Commission, the County Budget Commission, authority to overrule a city or a village's own internal budgeting, decision-making on their projects, long-term, whatever. I don't think that's the case. My position has been it would be much better if the legislature would actually define this and sort of end the debate by making clear statute. But I guess I can hope for a lot of things. But in any regard, I wanted to comment on that because there has been a lot of public inquiry, concerns about, to Mike's point, about carryovers with certain agencies and whatnot. So we felt it was necessary to address them. So, do you gentlemen have anything else for the good of this order?
No, sir.
Okay. Let the record reflect, because I failed to do this in my excitement.